10 tips to be that detached, high value woman. Now, I know the term high value can be a bit triggering for some people. So let me just clarify high value has nothing to do with externals, it's not about anything about your appearance or anything like that. High value is a state of mind, it means how you value yourself, which is a good thing because it means it's under your control. And really, what it comes down to is detachment, which is another very misunderstood term. But we're going to clear that up because I literally wrote the book on it. My new book, Detached: How to Let Go, Heal, and Become Irresistible, is actually out now. I can't believe I can finally say that. I'm not even used to saying that. I'm so used to saying it's coming soon, but it is out. You can get it in paperback, on Kindle. The audio version is coming soon. When I know the exact date, I will definitely let you guys know. I think it's still in production, but you can get it on Amazon, on Shop Catalog, on Apple Books. So we're going to be talking about detachment today. And if you're sick of hearing about it, I apologize. But at the same time, I just want to share that I am very proud of myself for being proud of myself. There's always this tendency within me, and I think it's because, and I've been very open with you guys about this, I have struggled deeply with my self-worth, and that came about in my romantic relationships, which I talk about a ton, and it's come about in my career and in all areas of my life, and it's a constant fight. Obviously, I'm way further along in that battle now than I was when I was younger, but there is always that familiar tendency to hold myself back, especially I did this with my last book for sure. I didn't really do that much reach out. I didn't do that much pushing, because then if it doesn't do as well as I'd hope, then I can always say, well, if I had promoted it more, if I had pushed it more, if I had gone on more podcasts, then it would have done better. And there's like a comfort in that. There's like a comfort in holding yourself back and in sabotaging yourself. So I'm not doing that this time, because I'm truly, genuinely so proud of the work that I've created. And not only that, I just know it will change your lives. It's changed my life. It's changed the lives, like these concepts, these ideas, these principles, these practices have changed the lives of countless women that I've worked with over the last 16 plus years of my career. So that's why I just can't shut up about it. I'm so excited to just share all of this with you. So today we're going to get granular. I'm going to talk about the 10 biggest principles that you need to apply to your life in order to be that detached woman. And again, detached woman does not mean you're cold, indifferent, mean, none of those things. And we'll clarify that. But first, I want to read you another small excerpt from the book. I'm really obsessed with the introduction and also the prologue. Like, again, you know what? I'm gonna just be proud of myself shamelessly. I'm really proud of what I created here. So I want to just read you a piece from the introduction that I just really love. And I think I'm also doing it because it really just captures the essence of what detachment really is. All right, let's go. I'm going to tell you the truth. The real reason love has felt so elusive isn't because you're broken or unworthy or doing everything wrong. It's because you're too attached. And the reason you're too attached to outcomes is most likely due to low self-worth. It's due to beliefs you have about yourself that keep you stuck in the same cycles. It's because you don't really believe things will work out for you. And so they don't. Now, before your mind goes to the worst place, let me be clear. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become cold or closed off. It's not about playing games, pretending you don't have emotions, or shutting down to protect yourself. That's not detachment, that's avoidance. That's fear. And that's not what we want. Healthy detachment is powerful. It's peaceful. It's the kind of grounded self-assuredness that allows you to remain centered no matter what's happening around you. It's about no longer letting your sense of worth rise and fall with someone else's behavior. It's about staying rooted in who you are and your worthiness, even when your life or a relationship feels uncertain. But here's the problem. Detachment is incredibly difficult when you've been taught to believe your value depends on being chosen. Most of us weren't taught how to self-source our love and validation. We were taught to hustle for our worth, to be pleasing, accommodating, attractive, impressive. We grew up thinking that love had to be earned, and if we didn't receive it, it must be because we weren't good enough. So we became attached to outcomes, to people, to control, to patterns. We became addicted to the chase, and the chase always leaves us empty. I know this because I lived it. For years, I was caught in this cycle, picking emotionally unavailable partners, overanalyzing every word and text, twisting myself into someone I thought would finally be enough. I spent far too much time measuring my worth based on how someone else responded to me. When things didn't work out, I didn't just feel disappointed. I felt devastated, rejected, defective, like it confirmed every fear I had about myself. And when that kind of heartbreak compounds over time, it can lead you to a dark place, a place where it starts to feel safer to expect the worst than hope for the best, a place where you start thinking, of course I didn't get the job. Of course the guy ghosted. Why would anything good happen to me? You begin to settle into misery's warm embrace, not because it feels good, but because it's familiar. It feels like home, and there is always a comfort in being home. It feels like home because somewhere along the way, you started believing that maybe that's just what you deserve. But that's a lie, a painful, persistent lie. This book is about breaking free from that lie. It's about rewiring the beliefs that have kept you stuck. It's about understanding why you're drawn to the same kinds of people, why you keep repeating the same emotional patterns, and how to finally stop. It's about learning to detach, not from love, but from the illusion that you have to suffer to be loved. Okay, I will stop there. I feel like that just encapsulates what this is all about. So let's get into it. Let's talk about some of the main principles of being detached and what it looks like, and how to be the woman that attracts love and success without chasing. So, number one, and this is always where I start with my one on one clients. Number one is to get clear on what you want. Now, that sounds simple, but it's not. A lot of people have no idea what they actually want because so much of our decision making is rooted in our subconscious, and we don't even realize that. The experts, the psychologists say that something like 90 up to 95% of our behavior is governed by our subconscious. We are in automatic pilot here. We're not even consciously making choices in our life. A lot of the time we're pulled into certain directions and we think it's because, oh, maybe this is what I want. But really, we're just either trying to heal an old wound or we're just drawn to something that feels familiar and it's not actually what we want. So I really want you to sit and think, what is it that I want? What do I want in a partner? What do I want in my life? What do I want for myself? What goals do I want to achieve? How do I want to feel? How do I want to show up in the world? Who do I want to be? Think about it. Even spend time journaling. And I will say also in the book, each chapter has journal prompts, exercises, a lot of tools to apply to really get to this place. Well, first get to this place of mental clarity, but then we also go through tons of other stuff, like all the layers of detachment and what's holding you back and what's causing you to self-sabotage and have those limiting beliefs and like all the fun stuff. But I did pack the book. Like this book is very actionable. But that is step one. What do you want? A high value woman doesn't settle. She knows what she wants in her career, in love, and in life. And she just doesn't waste time on anything that's not that. Number two, we got to give up the desperate energy. Needy, anxious energy repels. The stink of desperation poisons everything, not just in relationships, literally all areas of life. Confidence is what attracts. You have to get a handle on the fears and the worry. I know it feels like, oh, they just live here, like this is where they live and we're forced to coexist, but that's not true. You have so much more control over your mind than you realize. You have to stop worrying. And when I say stop worrying, I mean feeding into the worry, because the fears and the thoughts, they're going to happen. They're going to pop up. You're going to have those fears of like, well, what if I never find anyone? And dating is a disaster. What if I end up alone? But your choice is, am I going to feed that fear? Am I going to keep fueling it? Am I going to then replay every bad date I've ever had and every rejection and every time I've been dumped or ghosted? Or am I just going to notice it and dismiss it? That is your power. So you have to give up on the worrying about when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. The worry is not helping you. I know that it feels like you're doing something productive, and I get that. I am someone who is very prone to worry about everything. I mean, I was like this in my dating life. Now that I'm a mom, I'm like, oh, I'll worry all the time, worry about everything, career, finances, everything. Like, you have the choice. Am I going to feed this beast or am I going to starve it? Okay. You got to stop worrying and just trust that what's meant for you is already on its way. And I know that some people get so annoyed by this advice. I get that. But you have to consider your options here, because the real root of misery is not your circumstances. It's the way that you're relating to them. It is about fighting against reality. And when you fight against reality, you are always going to lose. If you just despair, why is it like this? It shouldn't be this way. The most disempowering phrase we can ever say is, it shouldn't be this way. I shouldn't be single. I should be married by now with babies. I should have this much money in the bank. I should be at this point in my career. Then we despair, because then it feels like it's not fair. We're victims. It's not fair. It's not supposed to be this way. And some force, the universe, God, whatever higher power of your understanding, karma, whatever it is that you believe in, that's governing everything that happens, is out to get you. That must be it. Believe me. And if you feel this and this resonates with you, then I feel you and I'm with you, because this was me for a very long time. I know that, like, maybe from the outside, it might look like it's just all easy for me and smooth sailing. It's not. It's not. It's not. It never has been. And I've just accepted that. So we have a choice. I can be bitter over my circumstances, or I can just accept that this is what it is right now. Now, that doesn't mean you just sink into, misery's warm embrace, like I said in the book. And that's what it does feel like so much. And I feel it still sometimes, like that temptation to slip into that warm coat of misery, which is so familiar because I lived there for most of my life. We have that choice. Or we can say, no, I'm going to keep doing all the things that I know I need to do in order to maximize my chances of getting where I want to go. And I believe that I'm going to get there, because why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? I'm going to find the guy. I'm going to get the job. I'm going to find my purpose. I'm going to get to where it is I want to go. It's not going to happen by happenstance. I have to put in the right steps and the work, but I will get there. This is just a more empowering place to live. It just is. Just give it a try. Give it a try. Okay? Humor me and let me know how it works out for you. Number 3, create a life you love. Notice that I said create. This is an active process. This is not a passive process. A life that you love is not just going to show up at your door. You have to make the effort to create a life for yourself that is full and exciting and fulfilling. You want a relationship to be the cherry on top. You don't want the relationship to be the end all be all for you, your only source of fulfillment and happiness. It's just too much pressure on a relationship. And a relationship can never meet all your needs in that way. So eventually you're just going to come to resent your partner. You're going to come to resent the relationship. When I say create, it's an active process. Look, I remember there was a time in I would say it was probably my mid to late 20s, where you kind of hit this point. I was living in New York City, and there comes a point where a lot of people start to leave. Living in the city is very hard. It's very expensive. And so a lot of my friends had, one by one, everyone was just moving to different places. People had enough. They wanted to go back to like where they grew up, back to California, back to the South, wherever it was. And then I went traveling for a while. And I remember when I came back, I was like, oh my gosh, like my whole life is totally different now. Like all of my friends are gone. And I was kind of in a weird place with my career. And it just kind of felt empty. Everything felt very empty and sad. And I was single and lonely and not finding anyone to date. And then I remember like just taking life by the reins. And I wasn't comfortable doing that. I know this might be shocking. I'm very, very introverted. I think my favorite part about getting married and having kids is I always have an excuse to stay home now. Like I never have to be forced to like go out ever again. But I remember pushing myself to like, if I met a girl that I clicked with, like, hey, like want to go grab a drink, want to go get coffee, like there's this event, like want to go do that, like forcing myself out of the house. And then eventually I found a whole new circle of people and just found that, first of all, very important, especially when you're single, to find your circle, find your people, especially if you are in that phase of life where friends are starting to couple off and get married. I have a lot of clients I work with. They're like, I'm the only single girl left. And it doesn't mean, okay, you're done being friends with like your friends in couples, but like you also need that tribe of single girls. And fine, it's not comfortable to make friends, but you know what? Everyone's lonely. Everyone wants friends. Like get over yourself. Don't be so afraid of rejection. Get out of your comfort zone. Try new things. Again, create. Have you always wanted to learn a new language? Go do that. Do you want to play pickleball? I actually really do. That's it. I mean, I've heard enough about pickleball. I mean, I love tennis, but eventually Now that this book is out, maybe I'll have a little bit more free time. What is it that you want to do? What does your dream life look like? Okay, start doing it. Start doing it. Start doing it now. Okay. I hope this is the kick in the ass that you need. I'm kicking my own ass also. Like, this isn't me preaching to you. This is me preaching also to myself. I am included in this. I definitely look, it's a battle for me as well. But I know that when I win that battle, oh, life feels so good. And I just feel so good. And everything just feels so aligned, and that's just the way to be. You get one life. We have one life here. We get one shot. Let's do it right. Let's do it right. I spent too long being miserable. I don't want to be miserable anymore. I want a life for myself that is happy and rich and purposeful and meaningful. All right. Number 4, be present. You have got to detach from the past and you have to stop worrying about the future. I feel like they say depression comes from ruminating over the past and anxiety is worrying about the future. Anxiety does not exist in the present. Anxiety is future oriented. The happiest place to be is right where you are. The happiest, most magnetic women and men are fully in the moment and enjoying life as it unfolds, not worrying, not replaying every regret of the past. I have a client I worked with who's still racked with regret. She's married now, but over a relationship that ended over 25 years ago, because she still has regrets over this ex who, when she told me the whole story, I'm like, thank God you didn't end up with that guy. What a disaster. She's like, oh, but I acted too needy. I acted too this. Good. You were meant to act too needy because that is not your person. Going over the regrets of the past serves no positive function unless you look back on it from a lens of like, okay, this happened. What did I learn? How did this make me better? What were the lessons I learned that I can use going forward into my life? Okay, let's process. We could journal about it. We could think about it. We could talk about it with our therapist or with your coach or anyone. And then you move forward. But just ruminating and replaying every mistake you've ever made is not going to do anything for you. It's not going to help you. So too with worrying about the future. And I know that it feels like you're going to end up alone. I know how it feels because I see women 25 worrying about this. I see women in their 60s who have either been divorced or maybe never been in a relationship. I know that fear feels so real, but it's not real. The real mechanism at play here is that your brain is not wired to make you happy. It is wired to keep you safe. So how does it do that? What's safe? Predictable. Predictability is safe. What's safer than that? Knowing exactly what to expect. So your brain looks at the past. Oh, all you've had are terrible toxic relationships, or you've never had a relationship before. Thus, this is all that is ever going to be for you. And we do this all the time. I have a client who I worked with. She had been single for about 5 years, and then she found a wonderful guy, and the relationship was great, but it didn't work out. Like, there were just problems, and it couldn't work out. She put up a good fight. And she was like, well, what am I going to do now? Now I'm probably going to be single for another 5 years. Huh? What? Like, what does one have to do with the other? Like, just because it was 5 years before you met this last guy, it means it's going to be another 5 years. You could have a new boyfriend in a few weeks. So you really need to notice when your brain is playing tricks on you, because it will. It messes with you. We always extrapolate. We project the past onto the future. And it's just not true. I know that it feels real. The best thing you can do for yourself, let go of the past. It happened. It's done. Stop worrying about the future. It's not here yet. Root yourself in where you are right now. And if you're not happy with where you are, and I would never give you the advice to say, oh, yeah, this is wonderful. I'm so happy that I'm broke and I'm single and I hate my job. Yay, life is great. No, I'm not saying that. You can acknowledge, of course, that was step 1. Acknowledge what you want and where you want to go, but embrace where you are right now, because this is where you're meant to be. Okay, I'm going to put in the work. I'm not just going to sit back and wait for good things to just magically show up at my door. I'm going to put effort in where I can. I'm going to take control over what's under my control. And then I have to let go. Okay? So we're going to root ourselves in the present. Number 5, master the art of receiving. This is peak feminine energy, which means you allow good things into your life. Now, you might want to say, well, of course I'm going to allow good things into my life. No, a lot of us don't do this. I was just talking about this earlier, like this self-sabotaging tendency. And where does that come from? Low self-worth. It comes from low self-worth, Because if you don't believe that things are going to work out for you, they're not going to. If you don't believe you deserve good things, then you are not going to get good things. And even if you do get the good things, you're never going to be able to enjoy them because you're going to think it's only a matter of time before I lose this thing, before I lose this guy, before people realize I'm a fraud. If you have, the imposter syndrome going on, which most of us who have struggled with low self-worth do, you're not going to be able to enjoy anything. You have to receive. And that's what the art of feminine energy is all about. If you guys want me to do an episode on masculine feminine energy, I'm happy to do that. I think I have one on my YouTube channel already, but we can for sure talk about that more. Allow good things into your life and know that you deserve them. Love, compliments, success, money, support. Allow it to come to you without over-explaining, without feeling guilty, without feeling like, oh no, I don't deserve this. This isn't meant for me. You have to cut that out. And I really want you to notice whenever that resistance comes in, whenever you feel that resistance towards the good things. Just start paying attention to it. Just start noticing it. Number 6, hold your power in every interaction. A high-value woman doesn't shrink herself or overextend just to keep someone interested. She knows her worth, and she meets people from a place of strength, not fear. So stand up tall and proud and strong. Speak with conviction, and don't be afraid to let go of people who are bringing you down. Whether it's friendships, I know that that can also be very hard. A lot of the time we hang on to toxic friendships just the same way we hang on to toxic relationships, romantic relationships, because we think, well, having this is better than nothing. I don't want to be lonely. What if I can't find other friends? So I'm going to keep hanging out with this horrible girl who makes me feel terrible about myself. There are some really shitty friends out there. I hear this all the time from my clients. One girl is in agony over being single and going through a breakup right now. And then she has this friend who doesn't shut up about how amazing her boyfriend is and when they're going to get engaged and moving in together. How can you be so insensitive and tone deaf? Some people, there are a lot of bad friends out there. And if someone is just adding toxicity to your life, cut them out. Cut them out. Again, we're only here once. We're doing this one time. The fear is another big thing here. This is what keeps so many women and men too. I mean, again, I mostly speak to women because that's my largest audience. So if you're a man, everyone's included here. That's just my default setting to speak that way. It's the fear that I don't deserve better. We also hang on to these bad friendships, bad relationships, because we kind of, a lot of the time, and I talk about this a lot in the book, we think, well, it must be my fault. Especially if you grew up in an environment where everything was your fault. Oh yeah, you're always going to default to this. Maybe he's not a bad boyfriend. Maybe I am causing him to act this way. And if I change my behavior, then he'll change his behavior. Maybe she's not a bad friend. Maybe my expectations are off. So again, we're noticing. Start really paying attention to these things. Number 7, practice gratitude. I feel like telling people to be grateful is almost like telling people to drink more water. They're like, I know. But you want to know something? The majority of people are not drinking enough water. This is something I'm really trying to prioritize here. But you know what? I'm supposed to be drinking 2.5 of these a day, and I maybe get through 1. So we can know something, but not be putting it into practice. Gratitude changes your brain. That's not an exaggeration. That is science. What you focus on expands. When you appreciate what you have, you attract even more goodness into your life. Honestly, this book came about through a challenge I did with my members of my course, You Will Be Okay. Speaking of, I've been talking a lot about coaching and all this stuff. Now that this book is out, I have more time for coaching clients. So if you're interested in that, please set up a free discovery call with me and let's chat and let's see how I can help you. Where was I before that? Oh, it all came about because in my 8-week course, You Will Be Okay, we did this gratitude challenge where every day for 18 days, we wrote down 18 things that we were grateful for. And at the time, I was really struggling with coming up with an angle for this book. I'd already signed a book deal. I was late on submitting a outline. No, I actually had submitted a few outlines, but they kept getting rejected because I was kind of trying to write a book version of my course because my course was so successful, but it wasn't translating into a book. It was great as a course. It was way too much for a book. And it needed more of a narrow focus. And so what we did is every day for 18 days, we wrote down 18 things we were grateful for. And we really had to try to come up with different things every day. And this is hard. You'll get up to number 4 and you're like, oh my God, I'm out of things. I have nothing to say. And then after that, while your brain is in that very positive, receptive space, I encouraged everyone, and I did this, to just spend 5 minutes, set a timer, thinking about what you want, like what you want to manifest, if you will, or like what you want. And one thing I wanted at that time was, I'm like, I need an outline for this book. Like, I need to know the angle. And I had this vision in mind of like writing the outline, sending it to my publisher, and then right away them responding and being like, oh my God, this is perfect. This is it. Like, go for it. Because before that, I was submitting the outlines, not hearing from anyone for a while, which is always means like this is not so good. And then that's like how it went. And I'd already submitted like 3 times, like different outlines. It wasn't right. And I didn't feel like it was right. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to do it anyway. Anyway, I was visualizing that. And then somewhere in the middle of that challenge, I was supposed to be teaching one class. I ended up changing my mind and teaching a class on detachment instead. And in the middle of that class, I was like, oh my God, this is the book. Right after I taught that class, I wrote up the outline so quickly, just spit it out, sent it to my publisher, and he texted me and was like, this is it. This is it. Go for it. And here we are. The point of that story is when you think about the good and you focus on the good, you attract more good. And you just become more creative. You become just more receptive. And magical things really do happen. So yes, I know it sounds cheesy. Oh, be grateful, be grateful. Humor me and give it a try. You can go big and do the 18-day gratitude challenge, or just every day think of 2 things you're grateful for, but just don't repeat. So every day you have to think of different things. Okay. That's your challenge. That's your homework. Number 8, release attachment to outcomes. That is so much about what this book is about. You have to detach from the how and the when. If you are gripping too tight, you are in scarcity mode. You have to just let go and trust that things are unfolding exactly as they should. They are. We can only control what's under our control. And if you try to control things beyond your control, that's when you get to that space of learned helplessness, where you feel helpless. You can never control how someone else feels. You can't control whether someone else gets a handle on their issues. I see this a lot with women where a guy is, I don't know, depressed or he's struggling, and she's like, oh, if only he would do this and this, but he doesn't want to. People are only going to change when they want to, when they feel like it. With my clients, I say, I can't want it more than you do. And in your life, you can't want it more than someone else. And you have no control over that area. You can inspire them, you can be there for them. But if a guy is in a place where he's like, I just can't be in a relationship right now, that is beyond the realm of your control. You have to release. You have to just trust. There is so much freedom and power in that. There really is. That is the most empowered place to be, where you can, again, you got to put in the reps on your end. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you will always get what you always got. Again, this was my life for a very, very long time. You have to do something different. And doing something different is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. So get comfortable being uncomfortable. You want to change? You want to grow? That's the way. That's the way to get there. Number 9, surround yourself with positive energy. Who you spend your time with impacts your mindset. What you feed your psyche, what you feed yourself, impacts your mindset. You have to protect your energy. And right now, it is easier than ever to let dark forces infiltrate our energy with social media, with the scrolling. It's so, especially, gosh, it's so toxic. I don't even follow accounts like this anymore, but like, the couples on TikTok were like acting like they're in the perfect relationships, or watching other people's vacations, or if you're struggling with your weight and you're watching girls who are super, super skinny flaunting it. Like, you want to make sure you are following people who inspire you and motivate you, not those who rouse your jealousy and your envy and who make you feel like you're lacking or you're coming up short or you're failing. Be very mindful of what you are allowing to penetrate. Be very mindful of who you're spending time with. A lot of the time, and I feel like I've been giving this advice a lot lately, but you got to watch it with your single girlfriends, because a lot of the time, negativity can like feed off of each other. Like, dating is impossible and all the guys suck and they're all just commitment phobes. And that can really get to you. And you have to notice, what the people around you are saying and how they're feeling and how their lives are going. Obviously, yeah, we want to be there for our friends when they're having a hard time, but you have to just be mindful of how much this is affecting you and your energy and your mindset and your headspace. Number 10, Remember that you are the prize here. Now, I know that sounds a little bit objectify-y, but really the reason I frame it like that is because a lot of the time when we're pursuing someone or getting too attached to someone, we see them as like this ultimate prize. Like, if I get this person, then that means I am worthy. Then that means I'm good enough. Then that means I am okay. And we go into this chaser mode where we're just trying, like, we see that we would be a great couple. We just need to convince him of that. And so we'll act a certain way. We will abandon ourselves. We will try to play some sort of role in order to get this, we'll act okay with things we're not okay with in order to like achieve this prize, when really we're just completely devaluing ourselves and abandoning ourselves in the process, in the pursuit of being chosen. You have to know your value. And if you don't know your value, then brainwash yourself into believing that you are a woman of high value, that you are valuable, that you are incredible, you are special, you are worthy of love, you are worthy of all the goodness life has to offer. There really is no other way. No one's going to do this for you. No one is coming to save you, not your soulmate, not your parents, not the perfect friend group, not the perfect opportunity. No one's coming to save you. It's on you. If you don't like the way things are going in your life, then do things differently. And I hope that this episode inspired you to do just that. This book will inspire you to do just that. Can I tell you something crazy? I was having a rough week like a few weeks ago, and then I was reading my book just because I wanted to pull out quotes and stuff to post on Instagram. And then I felt so much better. And I was like, wow, my own words have made me just feel so much better, which was a very, very cool experience. Anyway, that's what I've got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Please, it helps me out so much. And also, I just love hearing from you. Like, it's helpful. This podcast is for you guys. So let me know what you thought. Was this helpful? Did this resonate? Do you want me to go deeper into any of like the side topics we came up with today? So please rate, review, comment, share with your friends who need to hear it. And don't forget to get your copy of Detached, available pretty much everywhere. You can get it on Shop Catalog, on Amazon, on Apple Books, and it will be available in audiobook. I don't know exactly when yet, but I will keep you posted. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next week.